What is a not fun fact? Urine was used for teeth whitening and bleaching of clothes in ancient Rome. Yes, they rinsed their mouth with human and animal urine. Oh God, imagine all their clothes smelling like piss. They definitely wash it out with water, but there's gotta be that remaining sour smell. Despite being the largest mammal, blue whales do not have large assholes. They defecate with an anus the size of a grapefruit. Blue whales do not have large assholes. They defecate with an anus the size of a grapefruit. We now know what /u/panty assassinating considers a large asshole. Which animal has the largest asshole? It was once thought for birds, parrots, magpies, to learn to talk, you had to release their tongue. This was done by cutting their tongue completely or partly off, of course without any anesthesia or painkillers. The tongue release plays absolutely no role in the bird's ability to talk. What the shit was the logic there? Oh, this bird can talk but it has a tongue, so that must be an issue because... Why are we mutilating birds again? Male dolphins like to hunt fertile female in groups and hound them because they are unwilling. The females are often injured during this, some even die. They will also kill any young that are with the females just so they can breed. Killing the baby to them is just getting rid of a distraction to the mother, hoping they'll become fertile sooner / more willing to mate. There is a genetic disease called FOP where your muscles and tissue turn to bone. Often called human statue disease. Eventually people may have to decide whether they want to become frozen in a sitting or flat / standing position. Holy shit, imagine being forced to choose which way you want to spend your life but you can't move out of it. Fuck that. I assume you would be dead when you become frozen, right? In Australia there is a plant called the gympie which has such a severe sting that horses who brush against it throw themselves off cliffs because they'd rather die than continue to experience the pain. Gympie stinging tree history. North Queensland Road surveyor A.C. Macmillan was among the first to document the effects of a stinging tree, reporting to his boss in 1866 that his pack horse was stung, got mad, and died within 2 hours. Similar tales abound in local folklore of horses jumping in agony off cliffs and forestry workers drinking themselves silly to dull the intractable pain. Found this here. Yeah, it happens to people too. It's because of the toxin in the needle-like fibers on the plant. And the pain lasts for weeks, months to years. People beg for amputations, suicides, comas, narcotics, the works. Not a fun plant. Penguins rape the hell out of anything that looks vaguely penguin-like or doesn't move. In fact, it was so rampant, that the 1910-13 Scott Antarctic expedition decided it was best not to bring it up so society wouldn't have to deal with the issue it would bring up. Scientists witnessed males having sex with other males and also with dead females, including several that had died the previous year. He also saw them sexually coerce females and chicks and occasionally kill them. The scientists blamed this astonishing depravity on hooligan males and wrote down his observations in Greek so that only an educated gentleman would understand the horrors he had witnessed. When I clicked on this thread, I expected scary disease facts, not a century-old gay penguin necrophilia cover-up. Kowalski analysis. A man once had a tapeworm get cancer. That cancer metastasized, and the man died from tumors of tapeworm throughout his entire body. So this one set off my bullshit detector big time, but turns out it's true. Usually the body's immune system would have stopped this from happening, but the doctors believe it was due to the man having HIV and not taking his medication which made it possible. Has made me decide I never want to get one of those crazy weight loss treatments where they put a tapeworm in my belly to tumor food for me. Doctor, well, the good news is that you do not have cancer. The bad news is, you're going to die because of cancer. Greifswald nuclear power plant, 1976, the almost Chernobyl of East Germany. In short, due to a short circuit resulting in a fire, then almost all coolant pumps failed. The NY Times says, A Chernobyl-scale nuclear disaster was prevented only when a single water pump in the emergency cooling system was able to draw off pressurized water heated to high temperature by the decay heat left in the reactor's core, thus preventing a meltdown. This incident became public with reunification in 1989. To be honest though, nearly every man-made disaster isn't just one thing that went wrong. It takes a whole series of things to go wrong in a particular order to happen, which is exactly why we build in things like extra failsafes and code/protocols for engineering. Chernobyl happens because there was a long serious list of failures from the design, in the implantation, to the running of it, to literally doing the opposite what you were supposed to when shit was going wrong. The image that most people have of blobfish is based on a misconception. People think that's what they look like all the time, but blobfish adapted to live in deep waters, which means the deeper you go, the more water pressure there is. Their bodies are not meaty like fish but more gelatinous because they adapted to the water pressure. If you accidentally pull them to higher levels but with less water pressure, their bodies don't handle it well. There's nothing keeping their bodies intact, so their bodies explode. Basically, every photo you've seen of a blobfish where they look big and pink and, of course, blobby is a photo of a dead blobfish. Merchandise and cartoons designed after what they look like dead. Hell, they're referred to as what they look like dead. The little girl who voiced Ducky in the first Land Before Time, was murdered by her father before the movie came out. Her gravestone says yep yep yep. Her name was Judith Barcy and she was also in Jaws. Poor kid died a horrible death. Holy shit, the story is just scary. Trigger warning, as Barcy's career success increased, her father Yosef, an alcoholic, became increasingly angry and would routinely threaten to kill himself, his wife and daughter. His drinking led to 3 arrests for driving under the influence of alcohol. In December 1986, Maria reported his threats and physical violence toward her to the police. After the police found no physical signs of abuse, she decided not to press charges against him. After the incident with the police, Yosef reportedly stopped drinking, but continued to threaten Maria and Judith. His various threats included cutting their throats as well as burning down the house. He also reportedly hid a telegram informing Maria that a relative in Hungary had died, in an attempt to prevent her from leaving the United States with Judith. The physical violence continued, with Barcy telling a friend that her father threw pots and pans at her, resulting in a nosebleed. As a result of her abuse, Barcy began gaining weight and exhibited disturbing behavior, such as plucking out her eyelashes and pulling out her cat's whiskers, see trichotillomania. In May 1988, after breaking down in front of her agent, Ruth Hansen, Barcy was taken by Maria to a child psychologist, who identified severe physical and emotional abuse and reported her findings to Child Protective Services. The investigation was dropped after Maria assured the caseworker that she intended to begin divorce proceedings against Yosef and that she and Judith were going to move into a Panorama City apartment she had recently rented as a daytime haven from him. Maria's friends urged her to follow through with the plan, but she hesitated due to her fear of losing the family home and belongings. On July 28, 1988, the Los Angeles Times reported that 3 people were found dead in an apparent murder-suicide and that the bodies were believed to be those of Barcy, her mother Maria, and her father Yosef. The article quoted Police Lieutenant Warren Knowles as saying a flammable liquid, likely gasoline, had been poured on the bodies of Maria and Judith by Yosef. Yosef's body was found in the garage, dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Neighbor Eunice Daly stated she heard a gunshot around 8:30 a.m. on July 27, prompting her to call the police. Spider rain, you read that right, is a real and naturally occurring phenomenon. As Adele once said, set fire to the rain. So is frog rain and fish rain. Sloths only have enough energy for their weekly toilet trip to the jungle floor. If the baby falls from their underside in the trees onto the floor, they choose to preserve their energy and leave it to be eaten. Why can't they just drop a juice from the branches up high? Edit, I now know why sloths can't just aerate turds from tree branches to conserve energy. Thank you Reddit. Luckily this doesn't happen much because sloths are too lazy to open their hands to get dropped. Subscribe for more hot Reddit takes in your inbox, guaranteed.